Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for a 2008 themed baseball card rummage. So we're going to take the Wayback Machine 14 years into the past and look at some Red Sox cards that I picked up all the way back in 2008, or maybe in the time since, but at least are cards from 2008. You can see my very complicated filing system that I use here. So I'll be moving these into the cards I've shown on YouTube monster boxes. So I wanted to process through these. This was a fun year to be a Red Sox collector because the team had just won a World Series again in 2007 after breaking the curse in the 2004 season. So a lot of nice memories and highlights on these cards, and a look at basically the roster as it was when they won that 2007 World Series. We'll start off with some Allen and Ginter, since these are sorted alphabetically, I believe. We've got Jacoby Ellsbury, who was a really big name in the hobby around 2007, 2008. We're going to see a lot of him, I'm sure, in this rummage. He looked like he was going to be a five-tool player for many years to come. Power, speed, tremendous fielding. But in the second half of his career, he really kind of plummeted off a cliff. And then we've got the rookie card of Jed Lowry. Really nice kind of utility guy slash second baseman. Enjoyed his career. I don't know if he's still bouncing around or not. Someone can probably tell me in the comments. And then lastly, I really like the sparse minimalist design of the 2008 Allen and Ginter set. It's nice stuff. And then here's an autograph of Clay Buchholz. So in addition to being a Red Sox collector around this time period when I was first getting back into the hobby as an adult, the year prior, I was also a fan of autographs. You know, pack-pulled autographs weren't really a thing when I collected as a kid, so I was kind of fascinated by them when I first returned to the hobby as an adult. So that's a cool Buchholz. Who threw a no-hitter early on in his career with Boston. Got two Bowmans here, Curt Schilling, and then again, Jacoby Ellsbury. As I mentioned, we'll be seeing quite a bit of him today, I'm sure. Schilling, of course, still not in the Hall. We'll see what happens down the line. Here's a short print out of Gowdy from Upper Deck, a nice Carly Yastrzemski Sport Royalty, which is based on the Sports Kings or Sport Kings sets of the 1930s. That's a nice short print of Yaz there. From the flagship top set, here's a gold home run leaders card. We've got A-Rod. Is that Carlos Pena with the Devil Rays uniform there in the middle? And then the reason I have this one, of course, David Ortiz, Big Papi. This is serial numbered out of 2008, the year of release, as gold is every year now. So yeah, David Ortiz is a guy that I never really considered myself a player collector of, yet still have so many cards of. Because for years, I would just blind trade with people in the card blogging community, and I kind of became known as one of the Red Sox collectors. And so I would frequently just get care packages stuffed full of Red Sox. And since David Ortiz was in just about every single set that came out around that time period, I've got a lot of Ortiz. Here's a couple nice ones, refractors from Topps Chrome. These, I believe, were copper refractors from 2008. This was a short-lived refractor color. They don't make these anymore, but beautiful cards. Here's a nice Jason Varitek donning the Tools of Ignorance. We'll put that one up in the background just because of the really nice shine there. Beautiful card. And then to go along with the Varitek, have this Hideki Okajima, who is a really fun pitcher from overseas. I remember he had like a violent delivery where he'd almost be staring at the ground or behind him by the time he finished, hurling the ball towards the plate. Was actually a very reliable bullpen arm for quite a few years for Boston, and this is his rookie cup card, and that's pretty cool. And these copper refractors were numbered out of 599. So certainly you don't have the full Red Sox team set there, but nice to have a couple of those. I love my shine and always have. Here's a Daisuke out of Topps Cosigners, a set that hasn't been around in some time. Going to see plenty of Matsuzaka, I think, in this as well. He had migrated over here the year prior in 2007 and was a huge deal at the time, so he's in a lot of 2008 releases. Here's a cool one. This is a Clay Buchholz Finest Moments, and it's paying tribute to that no-hitter that I mentioned. So nice shot of the green monster in the background. I believe this photograph is actually from the no-hitter, if I'm not mistaken, and just a really nice shine card here out of Topps Finest, and this one is serial numbered out of 199. I've always been a sucker for serial numbering. Next up, we've got a run of Topps Heritage, and this was a good year for Heritage because it mimicked the 1959 Topps release, which is one of my favorite designs from the 50s. So we've got a small start of a Red Sox team set here. the now retired Josh Beckett, the now retired Dustin Pedroia. I'll stop saying that now. I think that'll be the case for most of these guys. World Series MVP Mike Lowell. Jonathan Papelbon, who was an awesome closer and a very fun personality for a while there. Got Batter Bafflers. Love these vintage combo cards and love the modern takes on them. So there's a Matsuzaka Beckett combo card. Here's a highlight card of Manny breaking the postseason home run record. So I love the triple exposure or triple image there on that card, harkening back to 59. Another nice combo card here, Infield Power. Lowell, Youkilis, and Pedroia. That was a fun team back then. This, was an era in my life where I was attending probably more Red Sox games in person every season than I have at any other point. I would go to, a dozen or even more games per year. Here's a Manny. Nice classic batting shot there. Then we have a couple of inserts. New Age Performers, Josh Beckett. Love the background on this one. It's actually not textured, but it looks like it is. Kind of a cool printing effect. And then we've got a Then and Now, David Ortiz. As I said, just have a ton of David Ortiz cards that I have accumulated over the years from being a Red Sox collector. Here's a set that was generally detested, Topps Moments and Milestones. So the gimmick here, these were serial numbered, but they made like tons of different serial numbered cards. So it kind of ruined the meaning of serial numbered because they just made so many of these. It was actually comical. I mean, if you were a player collector, you could collect thousands of different versions of your players' moments and milestones cards. It was really quite ridiculous. So a set that is not really looked back upon too fondly, but I'm glad to have one in the collection just so I could speak briefly about it, if nothing else. And then we're going to move to Topps Updates and Highlights. So back in 2008, or for a brief period of time, the set was not known as Topps Update. It was called Topps Updates and Highlights, which is a little bit much. And as such, the cards would be numbered UH for Updates and Highlights. So here's a Papelbon All-Star Game card. Got a David Aardsma, who I would imagine, I didn't look it up before the video, but alphabetically by last name is probably the first guy on the list in Boston Red Sox history with that double A followed by an R. Here's a cool combos card featuring Ramirez and Ortiz, that being Hanley Ramirez, and you can barely see David Ortiz here in a dark shirt. This is, of course, from the All-Star Game that summer, or the Home Run Derby. Here's a Manny hitting his 500th career home run highlights card. It's pretty cool. I love those point-in-time cards that pay tribute to a significant moment in a player's career. And speaking of which, here's another one. During the 2008 season, John Lester tossed a no-hitter against the Royals. So great shot there of him celebrating afterwards with the green monster in the background. Then we have a J.D. Drew All-Star Game card. He was pretty talented, at least for a short while. Getting through this, we're more than halfway there, so bear with me. In the next one, quite a few cards here from the Baseball Heroes release from Upper Deck. So they put this out in 2008. And all of the base cards look similar to the Baseball Heroes cards that a lot of us remember as inserts in the very early Upper Deck releases. So we've got Mike Lowell, Jason Varitek, and these are, of course, related to the 2007 World Series Championship, with Lowell winning the MVP and Varitek winning his second World Series. Papelbon setting the rookie saves record for Boston in 2006, or maybe for the league. Ellsbury batting .438 during the 2007 World Series. You can see why he was a big name in the hobby. Youkilis, who I believe didn't commit an error at first base in 2007. Cool one there. Schilling, who won his third World Series with the team. Beckett was the AL wins leader. Matsuzaka for a Game 3 win in the World Series. We got Pedroia, who was named Rookie of the Year in 2007. The American League. And then they had some retro or vintage players as well. So we've got Fisk, Boggs, taking his 5th batting crown in 1988. Pretty insane for a guy who was a rookie in 83. There's another Lester World Series highlight card. They had some of these combos at the end of the checklist. Never liked these multiplayer combo cards. Just a pretty ugly card, aesthetically speaking. And then here are some Emerald parallels. These are numbered out of 499. I've got Jacoby Ellsbury, because of course I do, and Josh Beckett. So fun group there of Baseball Heroes cards. Here's a cheap one. This is Upper Deck First Edition, and you can tell these because it lacks the foil, the rainbow foil, or I'm sorry, the silver foil that you would see on a 2008 standard Upper Deck card, and also the Upper Deck logo itself would typically be silver foil. But a nice shot there of a guy who really produced in the postseason for Boston in 2007. Here's a Justin Masterson rookie out of Upper Deck Timeline. So this is kind of neat. It's a period where Upper Deck still had a major league license to produce MLB trading cards. Masterson was a once promising starter with the team. He did hang around at the major league level for a few years. I want to say he went to the Indians at the time as well, but Timeline was a short-lived set from Upper Deck, so kind of neat to see one of those. And then speaking of short-lived sets from Upper Deck, we'll close it out here with a trio from a set called Upper Deck X. And these were, I think, maybe like retail-only releases, and kind of a really busy and not that beautiful-looking card design. I think the big gimmick with these was that you could get die-cut cards in the shape of an X. Don't have any here to show with this stack today. Just these three base cards featuring Daisuke Matsuzaka and a couple of others. So that is it. That's the small little stack of 2008s that I had found in the card box earlier and wanted to process those and take a look back at the Red Sox roster from a very successful time period in the history of my favorite franchise. So that's it for today. I'm going to go get these sorted away. I appreciate you stopping by and spending a few minutes of time here on the channel, and we'll certainly be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care.